Hello again, everybody. Todd Michael Putnam here with D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing to you another adventure table idea. This one is known as The Fate of the Sea Talon. The Fate of the Sea Talon. It's a ocean island type adventure, and in this particular one, this particular adventure, the characters are sailing along a vessel from point A to point B, and it is noticed by one of the scouts as they're going past an island in the distance. He spots shipwreckage off, and so the captain, according to maritime law, has to come close and see if there are any survivors. And so he gets the ship as close as he possibly can, and the adventurers themselves set off in their little rowboat to get to the island and check out and see if there's any survivors. Just to add a little interest to it, people are expecting, players would be expecting that the adventure would start there, but instead we could start with like a giant sea turtle, or in this case, I have a pod of unusually aggressive orcas that come and harass the ship, which of course makes for an interesting combat experience because they're not moving anywhere other than in the rowboat itself. So they're kind of stuck in their small little rowboat while the orcas circle them and bash into the side of the ship and try and knock it over and things like that. So that just makes for a different sort of combat experience where they're not able to run around all over the place. They're trapped in that one little rowboat, and the orcas are the ones that are circling them and causing damage and basically scaring the heck out of them. When they finally make landfall here, they come and they get to the wreckage of the ship itself, and they can see that the ship has been here for quite some time, that it certainly isn't a recent shipwreck. In fact, there are a few bleached skeletons that are laying about, but not many, with brutally crushed bones. And the ship itself has been gone for a significant period of time. It's been marooned on this island. And so when they do their searching and they go around and look inside, they find the captain's log and some other stuff. Most of the ship appears to be stripped bare of anything that might be useful. But they do manage to find the captain's log, which appears to be greatly weathered, and there's a whole lot of stuff in there that they can't read because of wind and rain and stuff, and the elements that have gotten out over the time. But what they do learn is that the name of this ship is the Sea Talon. The Sea Talon was a very successful treasure hunter ship from about 20 or so years ago, and they got hit by a brutal storm and washed up onto unknown shores. Their ship did break apart, and the notes in there say that they did, of course, lose some crew for during the storm itself, but for the most part, most of the sailors made it onto the island, but that it wasn't safe. That something was hunting them, and so that it's just finished off saying must get to higher ground, the creatures, and so there's just kind of a scary thing in there saying what they were running from something, and the characters can see from their vantage point at the ship when they get closer that there's actually some kind of a primitive watchtower that's been built up on top of this huge bluff. But while they're spending their time walking around and learning and stuff of what's going on and learning the history of the ship, creatures come and attack them. A flock of axe beaks come racing along the shoreline and begin harassing the players and just see them as some good food. And so they come swarming about and making jousting like passes against the players, knocking them over, knocking them down, grabbing them by the legs and dragging them and pecking at them. And basically just trying to swarm the players and overcome them. And so the players, of course, need to overcome the axe beaks, and then they will want to try and climb up the top of the to this bluff. And there's plenty of ways to get to there. There's all kinds of footholds and stuff on it itself. They can see that there's water down here. It does appear to be good water that's drinkable. That's great. And they climb up the bluff itself. And when they get to the top, they find the remnants, a very few remnants of the crew, but most importantly, there is an Eton that's here, a large Eton who appears to, obviously was not once part of the crew, but was indigenous personnel on the island. And what was left of the crew, he is basically beaten into submission, and the remaining crewmates, there's only 3 of them left that have survived the 20 or so years. They're basically just skin and bones and skeletons, and the Eton just seems to be basically lording over them like a chieftain, and forcing them to do stuff for him. And they can see, the players can see that a lot of the stuff that was on the ship, the stuff that was usable, has been brought up here. That the survivors of the shipwreck have used sails and masts and everything else they could do, and wood from the local trees to try and come up with basically makeshift tents and housing for their long stay that they've had here. And that even the treasure from the treasure hunting ship is still here, that all got set into one side. But of course, the Etten himself is going to have something to say about that, and the players will need to handle him to try and rescue the remaining three sailors who are far too weakened of a condition to be able to fight or to assist. Once they defeat the Etten, they'll be able to talk to the sailors, and they'll find out that the reason that they're up here, despite the fact that there's that the fresh water is down there, which would make it a much more challenging task, is that there is a creature, a great creature that lurks through the area. They call it some of them call it a demon or a devil, and others just call it the creature. But they talk in terrified tones about it, and that it comes, and that's the reason for the watchtower wasn't to look out for other ships. It was actually to see if it was safe to go down and get water. But it can be very stealthy sometimes, and so they have to be extremely careful. And then the big surprise, the ending show for it is, and of course in an open map like this, you wouldn't place minis down until the players were close enough to be able to see them, or you wanted to introduce them. Coming crashing through the jungle forest and out towards the beach would be a young Teresk. A young Teresk would come crashing through and, of course, chase the players out onto the beach and attack them and basically try and get himself a free lunch. Normally, he would eat the axe beaks and any of the other sailors or anybody else that had been down within grasp. He's not able to climb or anything, so the shipwrecked sailors had basically made their last stand up on top of that bluff, and it'll be up to the players to defeat the young Teresk and secure the rest of the treasure, rescue the three remaining survivors, and bring it back to their vessel. So that's the idea behind the Sea Talon, which is an ocean type adventure. This is actually two maps instead of just one. This is there's my regular ocean map here, and then I also have one that's my beach map. I think I got both of these from Noble Knight Games, not 100% sure. And then I just use rocks from Monster Fight Club that I put out here. I did get them black washed as somebody had requested, and they look much, much better. Basic dowel foam, dowel filler I put in here. You use cotton, really doesn't matter, in order to basically have the rolling waves come splashing in, try and get like a little bit of a wave effects. The shipwreck is from Zitterdes. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's Zitterdes. It's a German company. And you also can check and see if they're on eBay or Etsy. I got mine off of eBay, but it's like a hard foam. It's not a 3D print job. It's like a hard foam, and it paints up really nice. Then of course these are my Game of Thrones walls that I use. I got those set aside there, and after that there's just some trays from Dwarven Forge. These are some stone trays here that I put on top, and this whole thing is supported by basically glasses that I have there to. That's the whole magic. Just some glasses. I can't remember where I got these towers from. They're I think it's from some kind of a game or something. But anyways, it's just small. I know I got them off eBay. So, and I do massive searches for 28mm towers, 28mm guard posts, 28mm houses, things like that. So, and that's basically about it. That's the same thing, the rest of the stuff like. I think this ruins the stuff. I want to say that comes from Griffin Co. Those guys are fantastic. They have so many neat little things that they can do that they have at their site for miniatures for terrain pieces that really add into the story. So Griffin Co. If you get a chance, definitely go check those guys out. I do all the time. They have so many wonderful things. And of course, the huge ship is the Falling Star from the Whiz Kids. So that's it. That's the adventure for the fate of the Sea Claw. And hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And check out all the other videos. We're over 60 videos that we have now. And I want to say we just hit over 300 subscribers. So thanks to my subscribers. I really appreciate that. And the comments and the feedback that you leave. Always appreciated and always glad to hear it. So thanks for your time and for stopping by and checking it out. And I'll have another adventure soon. Take care. Bye.